Hi, welcome to Closet Coaching. I have been talking to a bunch of clients lately who are kind of criticizing themselves for comparing. And I really want to stress to anyone who's in comparison syndrome that it's really normal to compare. We're wired to as humans. It was part of our evolutionary process to compare to see where we were and what we needed to be doing. And that's a really normal thing for us to do. And I'd be hard pressed to say that it's possible to not. But there is a difference between comparing and judging, or comparing and then making a story out of that comparison. So that's the place to spend the energy and the focus, rather than trying to imagine that you would just like scroll through social media and not have a moment, or see someone, in real life and not have a thought or some kind of sense of comparison. That might be there, and that's okay. It's what you do with it after that. So do you compare and then immediately go into a story about how you're not good enough, or look at this person and what you're not doing and what you should be or shouldn't be, and how, are you fabricating and projecting characteristics onto someone else because it fits the story that your brain wants to tell you so that you can further condemn yourself? And are you making meaning out of it? Are you taking that comparison for a ride? Or can you say, I am noticing something and I can hold space to be different than that. I don't need to make that mean that I need to be that. I just noticed something. There's such a difference between noticing and even having a human reaction. It's okay. If you have a human reaction, it's what you layer on top of that starts the process of change, because we are human. We can't pretend that these feelings don't exist. We're not going to just replace them with a more evolved response. We have to layer that evolved response or the desired response on top. And that might be retroactive. You may realize you're caught up in something and then go back and rewrite. And in that rewriting and relayering, our brain learns a different story, a different way to do it. But it doesn't mean that original default sort of pathway isn't there. You may realize you're caught up in something and then go back and rewrite. And in that rewriting and relayering, our brain learns a different story, a different way to do it. But it doesn't mean that original default sort of pathway isn't there. It might be, but you can reroute. And I think that's a more realistic way of looking at comparison. So I hope you have a good weekend, and I will talk to you next week.